Okay, welcome to this video. I want to talk to you a little bit about your big project. So this project that you're going to do here is your summative grade, which is like a test score, and it's how you're going to show me. We practiced a bunch of little things, and you're going to put all those things together and use them in a way that's going to make sense to a story. So when you're talking about a story, basically you can think about English class, you can think about computer class. In English class, a story has characters. The people that are in the story, who's there, who's doing the action. The setting is where is this taking place, right? So the characters are someplace, somewhere. They're doing, and the plot is kind of the actual story part, like what is happening, what are the characters doing, where are they going, what has happened, and then there's going to be dialogue, which is what the characters are saying to each other. Now, you need to achieve these elements to put together a story to make all that happen. This is your toolbox over here. These are the things that you're going to use in code to make that happen. Sprites, backdrops. You need to have different costumes. You need to use movement blocks, some sounds. You use that say block, which is what gives you the word bubble. And broadcast blocks that we used earlier will help you kind of organize when things change, when we go to a different place, when everything responds to an event. Now, let me show you a quick example of what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you just an example of a story in Scratch so you'll know kind of what I'm talking about. So here's a quick example. You have a setting, you've got characters, you've got dialogue happening, and all of this is telling you a story. It's not just a bunch of random things. You're communicating a story. There's some plot, there's some action, there's some setting that changed. I don't know why there's a car on the moon, but that told you a story using characters, dialogue, setting, etc. I'm going to show you one more example. This one's a little strange because it has some things that I have to do. I have to press certain buttons, but here it comes. You've got characters, animation, movement, sprite, a change in setting, dialogue, another change in setting, a new character. But all that told some short story. There was a plot, there was something happening that makes sense to the person that's watching it. So that's the overall idea. So how are you going to be graded? First of all, you have to have at least 2 characters in your story. Those characters you need to utilize at least 2 settings. So they travel from one place to another at least. You could do more, but there's going to be 2 places in your story. And then in your plot, you've got characters, you've got costumes and animations, conversation, setting, and you're telling a story that makes sense. The characters are doing something. I can follow that story like watching a cartoon, right? So it's not just a bunch of random stuff. So you're going to use your technical tools to make something that is kind of like English class. So you want to think about what are your characters doing, why are they going from one place to another, what are they doing when they get there, and so you kind of have to be like almost like you're in English class, but then you're in the back behind that, you're making it all happen with the tools that you've learned in programming class, and you need some dialogue also. So what they're going to say to each other. So just these are all things that you've used kind of in isolation. Sprites, backdrops, costumes, movements, and sounds, say blocks, broadcast blocks are your toolbox, your best friends. Now, as you're working on this, if you get confused or you need inspiration or you need to remind yourself about something, make sure you look back at your old programs, kind of cheat off of yourself if you need to. Remember that if you click on your name in Scratch and then hit My Stuff, you'll see all your old projects. So you've done this project helped you use movement and costumes. This one helped you learn to use say blocks and timing and wait blocks. This one taught you that broadcast block and using conversation also, and then this one right here helped you deal with costumes, movement, and broadcast kind of all together. So all those are examples that you might use, look at your old work and say, hey, can I borrow this? That's how I did this, and so that will help you get inspired. But your mission, this is what you need to focus on. You need to have at least 2 characters, 2 settings, make sure your plot makes sense, and you have dialogue. And you're going to fill out kind of a worksheet to help you plan before you start to program, and you're going to make an awesome story.